have a really special show, and what I'm going to do today is compare some of the printable fabrics that are on the market. And as you can see, there is not a shortage of printable fabrics on the market. There are others that I don't have here, but these are the ones that I have actually tried and I can give my opinion about. Now, if you head over to thingscrafty.com, I have an entire write-up of these, so I've broken everything down by how they work and the brand's websites will be all on the website as well. and the colors are vibrant and rich. So that's an option that you don't have in some of the other brands. Now they also have cotton twill, cotton poplin, and cotton canvas. So those are different degrees of cotton. Some are a little thicker. And you can see it as you look at it too. This is the cotton twill. I don't know if you can see, it has more texture to it. And then there's the cotton canvas. And let's see which one this one is. This was the cotton poplin. And then they had the cotton canvas in the, no, this is the silk. So we have the silk, and we have the twill, and we have the poplin in these large rolls. So they do offer all kinds of sizes, and that was the one thing about the Blumenthal brand. And BlumenthalLansing.com is their website, and you can definitely check it out and you'll be able to see all of this. They had all the details on there. So these rolls are 8.5 by 120. So they can go through your printer. I have not tried them yet because I didn't have a project that I needed something that large for. But if you wanted to do a banner or something, these would be perfect. So